Welcome to Doing Business in Rwanda. I'm your host, Sandrine Mutoniwase. Rwanda's agribusiness sector is buzzing with opportunity, turning small-scale farms into profitable ventures. Today, we explore how Odelis Honey Limited is putting local honey on the global map. From humble beginnings in her own kitchen, the Chief Executive Officer of Odelis Honey Limited started building a business that would eventually reach supermarkets, hotels, and even international markets.
This company had been created since 2016 January. It has been now 10 years operating in this sector. And I've learned about starting small and grow big. And I used to train other women entrepreneurs in SMEs out there about entrepreneurship and about someone can start from a very small thing and grow big. And I started this from my kitchen at home. So this was a very long journey. And that time I remember I had the first, my turnover at that time, the first 10 million Rwandan francs. This was a very small amount compared to the turnover I had before. It was almost nothing. Even it couldn't even cover my expenses or my needs. It was a very, very small business. I started that way working with beekeepers out there. I would have like 10 jerry cans. I started even selling it in these water bottles. I would clean them and put them in and clean the honey, put it in, sell around with my friends. Slowly, because I knew what was the demand of the market, because I knew what are the requirements to get certified, what was needed to grow, I started that small with a very small amount of money. And slowly, every time I had to improve and to scale up. From home to this small house behind here where I started with bottles. Now I shifted from the bottles to good one, the packaging that I found on the local market. Then I started to think about the branding. Then I started about putting on the barcodes, everything that is needed to have a product positioned on the market and to enter the supermarket. Then from there, from door to door, from one friend to another one, I went to the first supermarket. From the supermarket, I started entering the hotels. After the hotels, I started thinking about the export market. And good enough, my vision was to export.
From the beekeeper's hive to supermarket shelves, Rwanda's honey is carefully monitored to guarantee purity and quality.
The multi-flower honey, the eucalyptus honey, and forest honey. Those are the popular honey we have here in Rwanda. But we have another type of honey which is called moringa honey. This comes from the moringa trees. It's not very common. It's a very unique and good honey, but which is not available in big quantities. Here we have two colors of honey. We have the amber clear honey, and this is a very dark honey, amber dark honey. These are based on the types of nectars bees take from the trees. And as we have all year long season for having different types of flowers, every season gives you a different type of honey and a color of honey, to affect the color and the viscosity of honey. So some people will think that you have changed the honey or you have just put something in it, but no. Always honey changes its texture, its sweetness, the viscosity based on the seasons and the flowers the bees are picking the nectar from. So it's a natural process. We don't have any control on it. So it just people has to know that honey changes based on the trees, based on the flowers, based on the season. If you look at the Rwandan honey itself compared to other countries, first of all, they have very big lands. They have very big forests where to get any quantity you may need from the trees. But the only thing that differentiates us with the other honeys is that the quality insurance in Rwanda is very tough. They make sure every product which goes out of the country has that flagship of quality. When you think about Rwandan product, you think about quality product. That's number one. Number two, our regulations being very tough and very serious about what we do, the quality as well go with it, and the traceability part of how we process, how we take our honey from the beekeepers to the market. So the African bees are very, very aggressive, but yet that aggressivity of them make them being unique, and we don't use antibiotics to treat them. While in Europe and in Middle East and in Asia, that part of being very aggressive pushed them to change their nature, the DNA of them, and they made them less aggressive. But being less aggressive as well also make them being very vulnerable to diseases. While African bees are not very vulnerable to diseases, we don't treat our bees. That means we'll never find an antibiotic in Rwandan honey. That's sure.
These international agreements are opening doors, putting Rwandan honey on the global map.
The first thing about challenges, I would say that people who used to do the beekeeping in the country, they were not skilled. So the quality of honey they used to have wasn't that good. But this is changing. It's a dynamic process. Now we are giving them capacity building. And another thing, they used to use traditional beehives. This traditional beehive don't give you quality and quantity honey we need. Now we are shifting from the traditional beekeeping to the modern beekeeping. That will increase not only the quantity of the honey we want, but also the quality of the honey we are harvesting. This is the number one challenge we had, was to use the traditional beekeeping model to the modern beekeeping model. The second thing is that the people who used to be in beekeeping were elders. Those elderly people in the country. Youth couldn't see the value of doing the beekeeping, and yet beekeeping is something you can do while you are doing other activities. You can combine it with any other activity, being a professional in the office somewhere, being someone who is doing farming in other sectors. You can at the same time do the beekeeping. Some people have forests and some lands that are not used. You'll find people who has like 5 hectares in their family land somewhere. They could not use it as an asset to get profit from it. Now people are understanding it. We are trying to teach them that everywhere where there are trees, 2 to 3 hectares, they can put some some beehive there. So people are understanding it. Another thing, the government has introduced a program in all the TVET program, all the high schools, to teach children or this youth who is growing to take advantage of this sector. This also is something which at least we are making sure that people who are coming from these vocational technical schools out there, they can also think about the beekeeping. So coming from there, they have knowledge already, they like it being the youth, and they have this innovative sense of doing things than elders. The climate change can impact our sector. This usually used to be a harvest season. And these 4 days of rain that we had, people could not harvest, and they lost honey because during the harvest season, bees don't go outside the hive to take the nectar from trees. Now they ate all the honey we had in the beehives. This reduced the production. The government is working very hard to try to eradicate these pesticides that used to kill bees. Now they are developing organic pesticide that can help people to have very safe food, and this is a national program, which we believe that it's giving a very good impact on our production and the quality of honey we are exporting to the international market and even locally for safety of people.
By prioritizing pest-free zones and safe practices, Rwanda is building trust in both domestic and export markets.
Beekeeping sector in this country now, it's growing. It's growing very much because usually before they didn't put too much effort in it or too much attention to it because it used to be done by these local people who are not very much skilled. And they used to do it for their own consumption, not looking at what the market will need. And we find even Rwanda could even import honey from other countries to have what we need as quality honey. And yet we had good honey here. So looking at the sector itself, the government have understood that we need to take advantage of this nature we have around us. We have forests, we have free land where we can put our beehives. And now the government understood that we can position ourselves to the market. So the government has put a beekeeping sector in the PSTA5 program, which is a program that empowers and help us as a sector to grow and to increase our revenue, to increase our economy, to improve the livelihood for our beekeepers. We give them capacity building. We give them equipment which are up to date, which are meet the standard that makes their production clean and meet the standard that are required to access the international market. They used to buy honey, they used to have honey which is not good. When you have honey which is not, we cannot even go beyond Rwanda. They will stay just in their own villages without going afar. But now, if someone used to produce, let's say, 100 kilograms a year, now they can produce 150 kilograms, let's say 150 kilograms per year. Now they can the same amount of beehives, they convert them into modern beehives that are, let's say he has 10 beehives, traditional ones. They used to give him, let's say, 150 kilograms. Now when they have the modern beehives, they can produce 450 kilograms a year. This is already a very big economic growth. Rwandan honey is allowed to be sold to the European market, which is not given to many countries in Africa. So this shows that we're putting attention to this, and now they're even trying to avail spaces where they're pesticide free to make sure the honey we are producing is safe and good to be positioned to the international market, even locally, for the safety of people.
Modern training, improved equipment, and government programs are helping Rwanda's honey sector flourish, boosting production and incomes. From local hives to international markets, Rwanda's honey is proving that quality, innovation, and government support can turn a natural resource into a booming agribusiness. I have been your host, Sandrine Mutoniwase. Stay tuned for more programs coming up on CNBC Africa.